Yo, minuaba anopei medawase na mema watching so oni watiefo nyina na yenyina yenua panyi na nakwa mebedi akon anopei nso so mema na che kese pa oni new force emebunu emrante ne maba wa etu ho asi ho se opese oje oman yi edisi ho ema nchirima. Now, a question webisa on the 12 pillars for economic freedom, no? Ubisa on the how. Na, na emprempi, you know, me tre in semwa. Ya na me pese me sha say free the why. Na se ote why na sia, the how becomes glaringly obvious. It becomes more apparent to you. Nemum so we hunu why na say how no e we chiri. Eno na ebema wadwena ya o se enkomo na ye die no obi be say e over ambitious and I say enye achievable. Now, so she oman Ghana, ye ne aman bi to say Singapore, any South Korea, any shase. And so Singapore, now she enyoma omwaya. Now timu se Ghana kechiri pa. So South Korea, now she enyoma omwaya. In fact, Ghana kechiri pa. Say what class and carry. And you ask yourself, say, a yet na omo etumi achieve and your mom etumi achieve na ye yen to me anyesa.
Okay.
Well, this is not the time to complain. But baby Ghana ejina say you know. It's time for us to find the locus of the line of least resistance. Mekasa de me pa kire ne say e ka twitwi dia eda ho any the complexity of the problems that you will say you know your actions that you take as a people and as a leadership no as I say actions that e ka no from na nso so profit na e wo so no e do so pa. That's what I mean by the locus of the line of least resistance. Now, in doing so, no, you start by thinking, say, when it comes to the area of transportation and as a regional connectivity, what is the best possible option? And only pillar 2 now, what they shall say, no, water transportation. And sub-regional railway network. Na ye sha say ye ka nsuo ho asem se esese ye dredge ye water bodies no rivers no na ye keka bom na ye connect. Se be ya ye betumi move products goods enipa cheaply across all the regions no. Na ebinum maliciously di agro nanso so nkomo bi wo ho a yemfa ni agro oman bia ni ho a develop ya wanfa ni nsuo anya adwuma so because if you have heavy machinery essay or transport it regionally o de fa kwan so a enye economically effective. 1, o say kwan no. 2, o blockade other road users. 3, enye cost effective. And so no so da hokwa.
Okay.
Now, if you don't give the water bodies work to do, the devil will find work for them. And when galam say ya ka ho asem. And so no da hokwa a obi amfa nya hwe ena kom ede emebunu no enti so obi kire ne se sika okọ hye ensuo na se a ofi so nkotu obetu na eso so senka ensuo yi da ho yi ene ye de atwitwa canals kama ena ferries gu so cargos nam so ena etwe neoma free Ghana namu white voter ede fro so hokọ Burkina ebi free soro enso ba betwam fa wanchi fa time ede kọ Bondoku Côte d'Ivoire free white mi ba sia de besi pra kire se ekwan ben na nipa befa so obetimi akose nsuo no. We are not making use of the things we have. And that is one of the things that you person you solve.
Yes, mo 12 pillars here. As a new one na esusun. And the amount of investment I was say come because as you put it, insure, for example, say it would take a lot more. Say you didn't ebeba at a certain level and sample movishi ashasiye. And can then ensure that ho so yenye ne hwea and ensure that ho in its natural form. Moko akoye bibia fa but see you need to restore and some more what is the investment plan? A him fa na mo shasiye.
Enuntina me shasiye no me ka say if you have the why, the how becomes glaringly obvious. Now, this is just a rhetoric. Bisa se insuo na say afei na ye kwasha sie abe cleaning insuo no aye say my question is do we have to do it?
Okay.
So se se ye dia ene kwan papa bia ewo ho a esese ye fa so no esese ye fa so. Now, I'm assuming say sika no a ye de beye no ewo he. I'm assuming say a question no that's the import. Between 1970 and in prempre make I say sika nko a ayira every Ghana kire say every oman mu ekọ aman foforo so a ye nhunu akiri hwehwe more than $50 billion. $50 billion. Eno ye die yetumi atresi aka se sika we ye hunu ewo he. Every year, according to Auditor General's report, you lose over $3 to $4 billion in corruption. Afibia. Naturally say, if you have a leadership wa, obetumi abloko corruption. Na wa plug ade am friend say systemic leakages ya. Hono nkwa no save best $20 billion for your first term of office. Now, so say Odreje canal no enye billions hundreds of millions. Se upese uklini enso na yen yewo eniswade hunu. Eniswade hunu ba kono using the method be a friend say bioremediation.
Okay.
Na bioremediation enye se yekofa abrofo efra abrochire no ma beye se adwuma no. Oko KNUST your researchers, any scientists bebre ohonoma, they are not being put to use.
Okay.
Aya na nipa bebre ka se Ghana na nkrofo abo degree nkrofo if they don't have the funding, you cannot see their usefulness.
Okay.
Sa nkrofo we nyina no human resources no egu hokwa yemfa nya adwuma because the leadership don't have a will to change this country or to turn our fortunes around. It is all beside this is our approach.
Okay. And
but so if you say number one, if you are able to deal with illicit financial flow, if from number two, if you're able to deal with a year corruption, dream ketash say can any proye, if you are my mua, or man wa kunya say bit me sika, and it would be somewhere around $20 billion. Maybe some because I say whether the New Force movement at Tennessee, I hear the costings for a nema ahodronwa why am I to the same and this is just one. For example, ABI, say we want to use water transportation or more. That's one of the key things that you would want to do. We should not also be lost of the fact that there will be other competing a year and near my was said more bino a so in all within the first year and near my whole how much is it going to cost us for dredging the our water bodies? How much is that going to cost us?
Good question. Now, I think, sir, in my previous submission, I've given you an overview of some of the costs or some of the things that you pay, any the cost say you incur. Now, I gave you an example, say, Odreja, it doesn't cost billions. It costs a little over $100 million. So, now, Oshe pillar 10 of the 12 pillars, we talk about raising Ghana's first $50 billion.
Yes.
Because we appreciate to say, and your mana yabobosono, and your nyoma sebi edafum. Nenso so a nyoma ehia esese ye. Say ya nya o maino ntimi enkonenim. Say ya nya o maino entimi emfa ne tumapa emfra. Enti in pillar 10 no ye chere ekwan a ye befa so a ye betumi arezi sa 50 billion no and in tranches na ye de afande enuoma bi a etete sa eno nkoda nchen ohwe pillar 4 we talk about reserves. Now the entire sa reserves no ehu hia ne say we your mind na say uni enuoma bi to say gold reserves, oil and gas reserves, mineral reserves uni bargaining power. Na ba konso so a edimu pa kese so so ye foreign exchange reserve. Se uni foreign exchange reserve wa o currency no de bia na esini trase. So huno. Now, if you're able to build up or shore up these reserves, not said ye kano in pillar 5, you build a national sovereign wealth fund. Sa fund no will delocalize how we do investment in this country.
So how are you going to raise sa 50 billion no? I am thinking say 20 billion no of sika efa baby no eba beka sa 50 billion no hona.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Na mi chirimuba. Now, when you are able to build the reserves and you have an autonomous independent body which is the National Sovereign Wealth Fund no. Womu trade sa reserves yi na omukura bargaining power. Sa National Sovereign Wealth Fund no bo o mine no bosia. So on say the adeni city no. Because ofa o mine bi to say England omu ntu gold wo ho. Nenso so omu gold reserves per the Bank of England report no etwem 310 tons. Yeah, the largest producer of gold in Africa no. Your reserves no nansemu and our modern numbers be to ho but no 15 tons. So when you have the political will to build up sa reserves here, wo sa independent body na eyo mine dia no eno asan bo o mine bosia. Now there is no need to go to the IMF. So there is no need to go to the World Bank. Yako IMF 17 times ni nyina anye yi. O man bi te say Ghana, eni se yako IMF kobo bosia 3 billion pe.
Would it be fair to say ebia unai ensimunti no you see things differently? Because on my we have had government ababeka say baby na ye jina na ye hu ni ye ye nim say sa na na tie.
Miniaba. For 30 to 40 years no. You bet me say ye nan ensimunti na ye hu ni ye. Because susuam pa say ade no unimu ye 30 years de enkawaye. 20 years de enkawaye. So enti ma ye leaders no excuses say ebia adwuma no eden dodo ana say eboro ya ho den so as a people enti na wo ntumi nye. And I keep saying it again. Me say they don't have the political will to develop this country.
Okay.
They don't care about the Ghanaian people. Na eye Ghana for no yen so so na ya mo saa kwanya no e na omu di embone. Eye ne ya mo saa kwan no. Because me di kan no oman bi te se Ghana a ye tu gold a enne aba be ye o how kese wa oman mu na yensu ani asai na yentumi nya reserves, gold reserves of even 100 tons a day. After more than 67 years of independence, now, between 2014 and 2016, gold on kwa a year free o maimu. The year you are echo Indian kwa na echo over 150 kilograms. As at the time, maybe yes, I researched in 2002, no, they $3 billion. Where you go that Ayako Indian kwa
Unaccounted for.
Unaccounted. They
So go PPMC. PPMC cannot account for that quantity of gold say free on my
money. Say Ayra, they are smuggled. And we Indian kwa. The Ayako Dubai, yenim. The Ayako Switzerland, yenim. The Ayako Canada, yenim. It's wrong to say odwene in full circular. Na utimi edwani egeji leakages no a 50 billion no kra na ye kan utimu se eswa si ani brese ye pese ye develop oman ya just by plugging sa leakages you know ye betimi a raise more than $50 billion in 10 years and they are building massive infrastructural projects and this is the vision of Nana Kwame Bediako.
Na a year more 12 pillars as a buying and I say as a movement, you know, what's not say at table say yeah, obviously no moon to be for BBA and free mu. You need to start from somewhere. Then a year more top priority say yeah, this will be our first and I say initial focus. I bet me I trickle down about am I to me achieve 12 pillars now.
Good question. Now, like I say, you know, there has to be a reason and a motivation for everything. And as such, how you prioritize them. Your problem now, you as a country, no, a complex. And complex problems require complex solutions. Now, Oshe Oman Ghana. Ghana nyina ejina Accra. Ghana nyina.
And I say Yama Nijina Accra.
Yama na bejina Accra. Se upie free Accra. Na se okokɔ even regional capitals need to say Sunyane ene Tamale ne adia. Enkoyi. We are regional capitals so and your remotest areas. Enkoyi. Na within Accra no. So what the cantonment? Now peer free cantonment. Now remu now nam aboko bi no ne ade ade otumu say we free baby ko baby.
Okay.
So no. And you begin to think say why has it happened this way? And why does it continue to happen? Why have we allowed it to happen? Greater Accra, the land size, no, ningina enru 2% of Ghana entire land size. And so more than 60% of all internal migrations towards Greater Accra and Asa Accra. And more than 70 to 80% of taxes are yaji Ghana nyina efiri Accra. And no say we first need to deconcentrate Accra. In deconcentrating Accra, no, you move to devolution of power. And then you move to fiscal decentralization. Now, Sanyoma miensa we are maboso no. Minimise emu ye deep nanso so oma me kwan a meyi no mako. What shall I say free fiscal decentralization na? Tiawa de pese ye kire nyina ne se e wo se ye dwiri sika no efri enkran na ye petigu the other 15 regions na aye dormant no. Sika no mpie ma enna o hwe 15 regions no so a aka na mineral resources any arable lands nso a ewo ho no ye yusu mpa akoye galamsey wasenso na wi no wasa smuggle de ko India no wasa smuggle e de ko Dubai no wasa smuggle e de ko Zurich enti adentina making use of SAR 15 regions here aye dormant by investing in mineral plants and agro-processing plants ubetumi create 2 giant industries in every region in Ghana. We heading. But because your consciousness enu level says your journey say we have to fiscally decentralize the country ntino yempese ebeye. And the way our governance is structured power ni nyina ye concentrated in Accra Jubilee House. Enti obia no obewi ni power no na ye ne de. Ompeso obejemu. Enunti na ye ka say you need just 12 ministers. Now for regions you appoint chief executive officers. Mo be make sure say industries no ye be build our regions ye take into account the demographics of the region, the attributable minerals in the region, the arable lands in the region, and the skill sets of the inhabitants as a set CEOs and the regional ministers. Because constitutionally regional ministers are just representatives of the president. Omugu region hono omo kwayi eno omo bonsa eno omo the reports to come president. Enti operationally womu nye bibia edem faso ema region enti di enjina yetwe omo ka edi enjina ya omo bongro omo titim edi enjina ya omo long cruises.
It's a matter of a year KPIs say as a regional minister ade ye pese we ye ewo region any we dwuma ye de ahye wonsani obviously ye nkan che regional minister say ko yi ni ade meboa.
Excellent.
But before answer, am I getting a sense you also have a problem with our local government system said and what do you seek to change if you're looking at like one literature that I read say our system is not decentralization, it is concentration because everything is centered at the top from Jubilee House. Na afi yama omu ya poni tumi no nketenkete e dia ma aban ensia na mu fo mu wo mantema hodo. Ensachraye ben na se Ghana for to aba dia ma mu ebeye ewo mu. Ensunsuaso ben na sansachraye no ebenya ewo bosha mo hye particularly said ebe ya mbutumi enya sika e de ayempuntunyuma was
good. Now, a question here will be say, Medicae Eyano Kakrebi with the 16 regional CEOs. And na Maponi ho Kakrebi with the fiscal decentralization say, I will see a Drisika educating the 15 regions now. one way to do that yɛnyɛyɛ nanso so new force anaasɛ owura Nana Kwame bedi ako ɛda n'akoma so sɛ ɔba a obɛtumi ayɛ ɛne sɛ fund a ɛkɔ the district level no saa fund no president no ɛna control muntie ni paa o the administrator of the district assembly common fund no president ɛna appoint no ɛna saa administrator no nso so ɛnsan ni independence to make technical considerations in terms of fund allocation. Now, say, we are into investment. One of the most important things in investing is fund or asset allocation. Say, only no or no, or in quote, pseudo powers to make sa allocation, you know. Or no one kasa any ne husu to me. All use technical considerations say sikano ekwaha ene beboa. Na mo just say or train esoro hofo omunte district ho omunni constituency ho. No ma be kire ne say e wo say odi sikano fa to the extent so omutimi ka say party here sika. Enti say e de fa ha ya mfa ha ye be lose power. Ye be lose sa constituency where no
certainly there will be an issue of mismanagement and as a misappropriation, but say obia or mine afau say koye e be a district chief executive yama o mandate unim dia also ye and you report back to nipa crowd or ma wa kwenya ne say koye kodisa adwuma no say dia wo observe dia wo hu feedback a wo de ba no and e be kire dia be direct to say koye
yeah me remember who can be say KPIs and as you say all the mandates abeka ho ube to me ama me KPI nanso so me mandate no enye mandate e de impuntu eba kro no mu a me KPI no will not revolve around impuntu nyuma because me mandate no is not about to say me build the industries a de mfaso eba kro nim and this all KPI free me hwa enko and this is what we want to change.
Okay.
Your person mandate no say 16 regional CEOs no down to the level of the district chief executives no omu bie nyuma.
Okay.
Na nyuma na ru bie no nipa sen no afa omo. E na enye nipa na wo fa omo no susu keke adwuma ne ye profitable ana. Is it sustainable? Is it self-reinforcing? Enye say we bie adwuma no na so just say central government no san akwaje bosia di besem adwuma na we bie no eno ankasa etua adwumayefo ne ka within the district, within the constituency. Now utumi ma sa mandate we ya afei na oba be ma KPI no afei na wanya sa minimum acceptable requirement no say bosomi aso Kotawana ba afiaso me resource wen.
What man a benchmark already benchmark nti the KPI na ma say e bi afinu mu no obetimi aye sa na ma ba ko mienu miensa we first quarter the catcher say ye no enu ni why na say untimi nye
sanity
say na eyi kra wo ho what eyi wo ho siga e wo ho a
obetimi
what I'm saying is that the institutions no ewo ho wehu ebia yankasa yesu ne ye ban ene ekwan a yafa so ma ye governance no aye otherwise nka ya hihye bibia it would just be a matter of ekwan a yafa so aye, not necessarily say regional minister maybe may the CEO instead of regional minister, but regional minister no in the edwuma e wo so ye no say ye hwe say o ye edwuma no ama pay out bibia ma wa sanka din ni de enhye dan here
me know about you the American say enye edin minister no keke ana ye change no aye ne CEO the function of nipa no a odade na no so the original minister no enkomo ameni wudi no they don't have that mandate constitutionally woman ni executive duty say woman abetumi as a project bi as origin ho so no enti wuntimi enka say oh yania na ya adwene say yempese ebeye ade no oni sa mandate no
and you say your mind problem
very good so enti na make say your problem no a complex and complex problems require complex solutions so and we appreciate to say it is a multi-level approach to solving these problems and yes so fiti preocupe na wo ye you have to build it ground up na yempanimfo no womunim se sa loopholes ni ade we nyina ewo ho but esan say bibia no turns back to them and gives absolute power to them unti no womo mpese omo besesa sa structures no but sa structures no susu na once sa oman no enyeye nti wo de hwade o we have to have the acceptance say the regions no should be semi-autonomous.
Sunday yaka decentralization ni ade nyina
yaka but yemfa nya adwuma enna yenkyere the how
exactly
new force Nana Kwame Bediako is the first candidate or kase we need to appoint CEOs and oust the ministers no. And with the CEOs no because ono no executive duty to make the region profitable. Region no, I was say running it is a corporation. I was all running it is a business. So because they are sub-national units. It is a Ghana no be na yetwa kakra. So into say o build Accra. Ewo baby said you hu Accra no. I see you hu Accra o Kumasi. I see you hu Accra o Bogatanga. I see you hu Accra o Tamale. An upgraded version. Utuminya sa consciousness na o build it up ehona na wo the Dubai level no ehona na wo the Texas level no but sa structures we anywhere obeda wa build o man no
so it will mean say there is a possibility of a change of the systems ayede ye niema e wo man because
absolutely
now and this will go into constitutional review. Because you're now going to appoint Okwakoyi Unkoyi Oshieni Okwakoyi Kandinia or Mantemono
intelligent.
And no, I was all the Combra Sebejamu, a Mambra Sebeja for Edutum say, Yamamra and Kankane, Echre say, I was ye a yet Mantemus Yafono, ye ye for Amase ye a candy for I a day Mantema Hodunina, a showmusa. And Yemre. Emma mo and che Emma the new force because you know how it is difficult sometimes it is especially say you was certain entrenched clauses within the constitution and mamo and how confident are you say even say Ghana for Twaba ama the new force is here na modisa and she no kotomra sebja fia wo bra bia mo antimi anya mra sebja fo bebre e wo mra sebja fia sa mo adwen kira na se motiri mo pone mo dikoto mani mu a wo metimi asa kira bo de amam.
Okay, o question no e wo mumienu o question ne wo se enioma ye kan nyina no eye de ne nso so ebeje mre. The second aspect nso so ne say because say enioma ni bi wo ho a eye already entrenched in the constitution no ne ye ebeye den. Now, me taking it from the first one, which is the time, no, okay, say, Benjamin, no. Adia no, ye pa na say yempe.
Oh, yepe.
Yepe. See, yepe pa dia, and ye na, the question of say, a Benjamin, and I say, enyimre, no, irrelevant.
Baby.
So, no, minim say, Christopher, 80, and Komoya, ye di kakra. Jacob. In the Bible, oye say ope Rachel aware no mfie say na edi ansa na onya na aware no odoefuo 7 years odoefuo 7 years no echi no wenya no onya de ope no onya no yede de ompe ene ma no e mo san kodo obiem until so onya de open de nti na make say ope bibia you do whatever it takes so no ema yemfa saa enuoma we emma politicians no excuse to do what is wrong and what does not benefit the nation. Over the entrenchment of some of the provisions a our constitution ni mu nso a maka baby say no human law can immunize itself against human intervention. Yemra no a yefre no constitution no mamu mayenye ye ho se emra no sabi efiri ne beto ofom a ye ho hwea enye yie eye yeni agana fo ne etwero mra no ena ye twero mra no the motive ne ye de etwero emra ne se ebebo yen gana fo ho ban na ma ya setena ne abrabo atumpon na se ya twero de na wie na emoayen a enisi ebisa question say ye betu agu ana say ye ntungu ade ne moayen into the answer no e wo moamo ho na onto the third aspect which is a sub question e wo we no oh uni MPs enti obede na wenya parliamentary approval any ade MPs no a wo mo parliament no they are not there to serve themselves they are there to represent their constituents. A constituents no yeah the Ghanaian people. And it's a MP so the will and the power resides in the ordinary Ghanaian or the core parliament. It is not a question about the MPs. It is a question about whether the Ghanaian people want this or not. And yeah, MP no MP be anywhere to meet in Ghana ni. Yama ya dwene akoye se MP no jama oye nipa bi a osun bi ama wote se ye ne Ghana fo na ye ne Ghana fo ya bom ne aka se ye nyina ye ko parliament ho a enye yi enti wo kona ko represent ya soma no ono wo som yen se ye ka ye bega so ye akwada ye ya soma ne se onko som yen enti ono no ntimi nka nkire Ghana fo se de ye se ye pe na ebeboa oman no wo se me ma approval. If you have a president or political will, sadly went to me sit that. Now, essence the last 30 to 40 years, we've had leaders they don't care about the country, The Ghanaian people have built a frame of reference. And possible, and the politicians have seen it and they've taken advantage of it. It was last na meet you penny pay be person me boni din nanse ya o mayi na free a friend say me can mu behu nipa kro boy penny power parliament na o ma comment e wo opanyin na kwa me bedi akon ani so ade hunu and the 16 regional CEOs ni ade and you know the usual game we play not trying to make fun of it. Hey, onim dia oka na opeso yi say cry just over parliament dia ben so they know the truth but they are deliberately dishonest to the Ghanaian people.
Many Herbert Bejo, a lead economic analyst for the New Force, and because I nyana na kwame be dia kwangasa na wo studio man for Philise because the voice na ya koseka kra enti aman for Philise ono na wo studio hanom no comment ni bia ba me fantum na fe yento aso Richard Mensah say NPP and NDC have failed Ghanaians but still these two parties want to rule us. They should stop gambling with the mind and the future of Ghanaians. Joseph S.A. vote Nana Kwame Bediako for President 2024. Thomas Ansasa Sraku, the new force is surely appointed to unlock and initiate Africa's greatness known as the new golden age of Africa. Aaron Babako S.A. Good morning to you. The saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, holds true in this situation. The media as the fourth estate of the realm and the strongest among them, has a crucial role to play in ending the Galamsey menace. The media has the power to raise awareness about the destructive effect of Galamsey, mobilize public opinion against it, and put pressure on the government to take decisive action. It is imperative that the media rises to speak out against Galamsey and make noise about this critical issue in order to bring about an end to this destructive practice. Thomas Ekankan said, Nana Kwame Diakon is a genius given for Africa's emancipation. Eric Enim say, wisdom is speaking. It's about time we took them serious. The force is here. Every youth is for the force. Sasso and Edem Dogbe say, I will vote for you now. Eric Enim Boate say, why the nation is not listening? We must vote massively. This interview must be shared on all platforms. New Force, you have my vote. Michael Ananti say NKB for President 2024, inshallah. Gray Mains Ghana say 100%. Mary Wayne say the New Force movement in Idaswaba and Numa Bibri. In fact, messages no Edo Sopa. Frank Asante, keep up the good job, my brother. Hubert and no Ewahanum. Anointed Sam, this is what we call communication, not the insults from those NPP and NDC, and also Ewo Hanoma. Bismarck Dufour, the New Force is here for new Ghana, new mindset with new people. The New Force truly has a vision. And to when you know a comment in Ibia, ebi eka ho edoso ha. Sefa o question bia we bisa Hubert na fe no or the final thoughts and so atujana the interview no
critical. So as an economic advisor, critical to economic management has been issues a car a day, the city's depreciation, our expenditure issues. We overspend, we don't cut our coat according to our size. We know we have issues with revenue generation or revenue mobilization. If you look within West Africa, sub-region, and that's sub-Saharan Africa, about 13, tax to GDP ratio, about 13%. Within the sub-region, you will include Ahodwa, 16, 17, 18%, 14, 15, any area can. Now, what are you going to do? New Force movement. Number one, to deal with issues of revenue generation and a tax. Ghana for be brainwa kasa afa etwa hodoa wom etua ho. What will you do differently? Eba no mbosia ahodoa ye bo ayedi edi djuma ewo omaimu a. What will be your approach on mbosia bo ewo omaimu anase amonone? Already we know say government this answer won't mean call abontene nkonko bosia family di djuma wo omaimu ntino. There is a crowd out. The local financial system no mu abide the bonds bonten one for to business enya bi enye ska emfanyo mu enyuma ahodo. What approach will you use? Will it be local or international? How do you intend to stabilize? Mebusa questions be brabum. How do you intend to stabilize the city's depreciation consistently? As we speak now, a free sabre, if you have a free January, every sabre. If it's me, I can say, estimate said the city has depreciated somewhere around 20-24% against the US dollar. Kwambe na mobe faswa, mobe timi ama sidi na huwa deno, etumi ejina brane. Cost of living, eya die bakwa, daga na fo nyina akoma so. Ebrani abrane nyina kosoro. Amanfo ehu chirewom. Edian na mbetumi ayo asesa nema mu adwuma yo eya de ba akon no so Ghana fo ehwe ni mu se amanyoko anaso bibi obi ni tire se Ghana fo ntene so aba no obe so betumi ama mabunu no ahodo bebre no a enwuma 14.7% unemployment rate anu ode ne mama bunu no pa edian no mbe ya fasa enema a mabobo so wadama
Sifa o question here there exams and session B. But me bo modern say me ano kama. aban biara no a oyɛ serious sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔmove ne man to the next level no. Yɛwɔ nneɛma mmienu bi a ɛsɛ sɛ aban no adwene ho kɛse paa. Na saa nneɛma mmienu no baako kɔ soro no na baako ɛkɔ fam. Deɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛkɔ soro ɛyɛ employment. Anaasɛ adwuma. Ɛna deɛ ɛsɛ sɛ ɛkɔ fam ɛyɛ inflation. Enti enwuma ɛkɔ soro no na yɛ sɛ umeki sure nso sɛ o arrange sɛ inflation nso so ɛbɛba fam. Sɛ utumi achieve saa balance wei a ɔman no mu bɛyɛ de paa.
Amanfo nya anwuma yɛ. Na mmom ɛbrɛ ne bra no sɛdeɛ ɛnneɛma bo ɛkɔ soro no.
Na ti hɔ daa.
Anase team okay.
So hunu. Enti sɛ wohwɛ aman bi te sɛ Switzerland, that's what they've done. Now, to achieve saa nneɛma wei sei no. Yɛwɔ nneɛma mmiɛnsa nso a ɛsɛ sɛ ɔma w'ani ɛkɔ ho. Deɛ edi kan ɛyɛ adeɛ a yɛfrɛ ne sɛ prudential regulation. Now, saa prudential regulation, you know, ɛyɛ mmara a ɛkyekyere the banking system, financial institutions, insurance, ɛnom ne adeɛ. Na umeki sure sɛ banks ne insurance a ɛwɔ ɔman yi mu no ɔmo gyina a solid foundation so. A ɛnkɔba ne sɛ ɔkyena yɛbɛsɔre yɛsɛ ne nyinaa gu weisi mi sika yira weisi ayɛsɛ ɛno yɛ number 1. Deɛ ɛtɔ so mmienu a ɛno ɛho hia paa na ɛyɛ relevant to question yɛ a wabisa yi ɛyɛ adeɛ ɛfrɛ ne sɛ fiscal balance. Na ɛbɛ sound sɛ ɛyɛ borɔfo kakraka nanso so ɛyɛ common sense. Cut your coat according to your size. Adeɛ a unimu sɛ ɛho hia no ɛnkɔbɔ ho bosia. Bosia wo kɔbɔ a unimu sɛ saa bosia we me de bɛhyɛ dwumadie we mu a ɛmma me returns a ɛyɛ enough to pay back the loan and give me a net positive return no saa bosia no yɛmmɔ.
Okay.
Yɛmpanimfoɔ ni the fiscal discipline to achieve this.
Ɛyɛ no monte ase anase
Wɔn mo te ase hwɛ minua mintumi nte ase da na minyi ntumu da sɛ me a me mete w'anim yi me minimum nwoma anaasɛ me wɔ experience ɛkyɛn the vice president of Ghana me nte ase da. Me nte ase da sɛ me a me no wo kasa yi minimum nwoma kyɛn mpanimfo a ɔma bɛyɛ finance ministers ne adeɛ atwam. They know what I'm saying times 10. But me kyerɛ wo sɛ if you don't care about the people, your intelligence don't matter. So, enti omayi your maya tienyo, we have more PhDs in government than all the G7 countries combined. And so omayi nkoso. Yempanimfoɔ no abobɔ degrees bebree akwesi nyame ani. Nanso so because they don't care about the country ntino ɔman no ntimi nkoso nneɛma yɛ a mebobɔ si they know but wɔbɔ bosia no a ɔwɔ ne cat wɔ bosia ne mu. Ghana nyɛ ɔman a ɛsɛ sɛ da bia yɛsoa kɛntɛn ɛde kɔbɔ bosia. Ntina na meka kyerɛ wo sɛ when you build the reserves a ɔman na bɔ ne ho bosia. When you create jobs wa ɔman no abɔ ne ho bosia because one manipa ɛnyɛ adwuma ɛyɛ. When you adwuma ɛyɛ ne nyɛ sɛ sɛ bi adwuma akatua ni so sɛ nkurɔfoɔ ɛkɔprapra kwan ho a na bosom yɛ ama 300 Ghana cedis. Ɛnyɛ sɛ adwuma ni bi na meka na mmom adwuma it gives people disposable income. Now, when people have such disposable income, now they have good jobs. So, you are there, a friend said long-term orientation, and I say time preference. You lower their time preference. So, say, omu to minya sika edawa, omu pre omu se, omu bedi se sika no ne. Sir, and you instigate the culture of delayed gratification. Enti sika ne da ho no wode bebo Ghana bosia. Muntie ni yo. It is also mind me to say Japan omo de kapa. Omo debt to GDP etwam 150%. But me ka say me de wo Japan na wo kura papers no bibia wonko. So obeko. Adentia.
Menya adwuma ye.
Ubenya adwuma ye. Nanso so omo de kapa unim de ntia omo de ka nanso enye problem mo. A kana omodiano is owed to the Japanese people. The debt is denominated in the Japanese yen. So the Japanese people have trust in the Japanese government. They have disposable income. They have a low time preference. And to musika no omo de boy abai no bosia omo nko IMF. Se ofri oman nim na ko IMF na ko World Bank eno ne friend say external debt no sa external debt no e na ekunye no enye say bosia no keke. It is the type of debt we owe, because bosia no e denominated in the US dollar and the euro. You don't have control. So no and na won so unplug systemic leakages and na wunzia oman no. Once so onya net exporter, refining gold, process cocoa, process banjia ubia, so no atwachene, so no atwachene. A better no man develop. Messing your mayor making and pennyphone, they know it more than me times 10. But they don't care about us. This is what we want to change.
Hubert, unfortunately, no, Emreno is and no member say obebo other pillars. No, so I think we concentrated on about 2 or 3. Obebo other pillars, and so now no the final words so at so.
Yo, Minia, enti pillar 1 no 16 regional industrial revolution. The agenda ne say yebema the 15 other regions na aya dormant no yebe activate yomo by building industrial plants ewo ho. 2 no so water transportation and sub-regional railway network. Ye pese ye integrated the entire country all towards the borders. Na amambokina numso adien so atwa so, and this is how you integrate Africa economically. The next one so ye pese ye share energy sector so because o pese o ye sa enoma we nyina na o kania e woman na o mine so any control over energy tariffs obi anu ha o de sika beba be show mine so build the industry because kania no won't mean tua ho ka. The next one so reserves maka ho asem bebre yi afen so the National Sovereign Wealth Fund ono eba be manage sa reserves no a wa build no na ono the reserves no atredi when you bargaining power na when you sika or they be bo o man no bosia sebe ya yenko IMF emma external debt no enye bibre afen so ye wo industrial education and so ye pese ye educate the Ghanaian people sebe ya they would think industrially na enye no nkwan so we want to build a national conscience. Say ye pese Ghana for edo Ghana. Ye pese omano we care about it. Na ye dwene ho yi because sana Japan for aye, sana America for aye. Afen so snake so ekwan a yafa so manage no. Ye ni nye ho ye pese ye sesa no and we are coming with the snake revolution. No ye ntwen say you betwen within 60 years 65 years afen na okwakoje 10 million bosome and answer 1,000 cities bosome ni nyina ye enioma sesa no afen so number 8 no so ye environmental and human rights protection ye shek galamsey ene say the yensu essay afen so journalists to da bi etimi bobituo menkai abusuafo ya na emoje nwunu no na ebesi nne ye hunu nipa ekunkum mo che se enioma ne doso entiminua maka enwotwe a edikan na maka 50 billion no so de beka ho a yaka 12 ministers ntiem se 12 ni nyina na anopo mama me kwan a ya discuss na mani so yi pa medamase
ye beda se pa meni sefa ye ni Hubert Baidu ono ene lead economic analyst for the new force ono ena odi enchiremu kakra abreyen efa the new force omo 12 pillars omo edi aba abontin a eka se nyame ya dom na Ghana for eti omo ase to aba mo a enwem omo ba omo ebe abeye